Oh, sweet. Pure nightmares beyond comprehension. This must be the work of today's film, Skinamarink. Left home alone in the middle of the night, young Kevin and Kaylee awake to find their house turned into a dark and confusing maze of horrors. Meanwhile, they become haunted by an evil force who seeks to torment them. The film features a star-studded cast such as Hallway Door, Crown, Molding, Public Domain cartoons, Chairs, and even a special appearance by The Ceiling. This experiment in horror will have you wanting to rip your eyes out, whether it be in pure terror or pure boredom. This is the TRACcast.
That was awesome.
You forgot to mention the phone. He was pivotal.
Oh, yeah, I forgot they casted phone.
No, you didn't forget. Christian forgot Tonekeeper.
I didn't want to think about that fucking thing.
That, I will say that scare was pretty good. It was pretty good. Welcome everyone to a spooky episode of the TRACcast. We're recording this in the month of October. We're happy to say that. We don't care. And yeah, it's part of our little spooky vibe spooky month. We are one of our prerogatives was to choose some scary movies, which Ryan did before with Dead Silence, and now Aref has brought to the table Skinamarink, directed by Kyle Edward Ball. Just before we dive too much into it, I was so looking forward to watching this movie because I heard about it and I never watched it. But it seemed like the kind of thing that I would really be into, like from what I heard about it. And I'm very glad I went in with like very low knowledge. But at the same time, I don't really know, I don't really know how someone talks about this movie to somebody else. Like, how do you?
You can't really explain it. You sound like a maniac.
I tried to explain it to Alex, my girlfriend. She was interested, and I was like, yeah, but like, I'm telling you, you would like it, but you really have to vibe with it. And if you don't vibe with it, then like, you won't like it, but you have to try it. Like, you just have to try this movie. And I think that like kind of goes to say, like, my little disclaimer that I would like to share with the audience is that like, this movie is unexplainable. Like there's no way to like we're going to explain it.
We're going to be wrong, most likely.
Yeah, this is one of the few movies where I feel like you can completely watch this episode in its entirety and then still not be able to fully grasp what it is, and then go watch it and still be surprised. Yeah,
I encourage people to watch it because I think it's just something different and unique, and it's something that can't really be explained. But it's not like A Man from Earth, like, go in with no expectations. Like,
yeah, there's no
spoilers. Graciously told us
here
that there was jump scares, which I appreciated. And recommendation, basing this off of Aref, because he told us to do this. You should all watch it in the dark, and have as little distractions as possible. And I highly encourage that.
Just a little anecdote. This is actually the second time I watched it. The first time I watched it with my fiance. Absolutely hated the fucking movie. I hated it. The movie really requires you to be immersed, and if you're not in the correct setting, you're not going to be able to appreciate the movie for what it is. But put yourself in the correct setting, really immerse yourself, and there's a much higher likelihood that you're going to enjoy it. And the second time I watched it, I loved it. I loved the movie. The first time I didn't. The second time I went to an abandoned field that had Wi-Fi, sat in the dark with nobody around, and then watched it with my friends, and I was very spooked.
He did. He did do that.
This is the effort that we go to for our audience.
Yeah, we fully immerse ourselves to make sure that we get the best experience possible so that we can give you the best reviews possible.
Yeah, we're not here to bullshit you.
No, we're telling it to you straight.
Christian might be here to bullshit you, but the rest of us are here to tell you straight.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I will say, just as a side note, I am a big fan of Trap. I get the complaint about the daughter thing, though. No. I'm not trying to start anything. I'm just saying, let's talk about something before. Did Ryan? Did you see it?
No. Never looked at the stuff.
Yeah, we gotta have you watch it before we get too into it.
We definitely won't spoil anything.
I also haven't.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't?
No.
All right, TRACcast homework. 2 of our members got to go watch Trap. It's on HBO Max.
That's the M. Night Shyamalan one, right?
Yeah. It's I mean, I liked it.
If you want to see mine and Ryan's reaction, go watch the Raw cast.
Yeah.
What else? Anything else we want to bring up before we dive on into this movie?
There's technically self-harm in here.
Oh,
but you don't see it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there is.
There is.
Child self-harm,
so
but it's off screen
definitely.
References.
Yeah. That's a big
there.
that's a big point of the movie. So yeah, we'll be talking about self-harm. So trigger warning. And if that affects you, but maybe skip this one because it is implied, although it's not shown.
Aref, you brought this movie to us this week. What made you do that?
Yeah, why'd you pick Skinamarink?
Why'd you pick the Skinamarink?
Well, I mentioned before, I watched it once before.
Right.
Well, I watched like 75% of it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the last 25% of the movie. More like 20%. Anyways, and I hated it. And I was like, I feel like if I watch this with more intent, where I'm forced to focus, I'll like it more. And I have to go watch it in a dark room. But the thing is, my fiance doesn't like to watch shit in a dark room, you know? So I was like, okay, I'm going to go watch it by myself, but I'm going to need to force myself to pay attention. What's the better way to do it than to do it on the fucking podcast? Because then I have to talk about it. Anyway, so I picked it selfishly.
I mean, I thoroughly appreciate it. At least personally,
that helped a lot.
It was an experience, and like you definitely like set us up for success on that. Like telling us to watch it in the dark and with little distractions. I told Alex how hyped I was. I don't know if you guys remember, but like when we went to one of the cabin trips for my birthday celebration thing or whatever, I said I wanted to watch Skinamarink. I'm kind of glad we did it.
Oh my god, that's like eating Little Caesars with the bitch talking in your ear. You know what I mean?
You're telling you it ain't
it's
good.
Like, no, it's just more of because like I think there was too many people in a small room to keep
non-gender bitch.
Yeah, like to keep it things, and like especially if like Brie was there and she wouldn't have liked watching it in a scary room. Maybe she would have if like everyone was there, but you'd have to get into it and like imagine watching this with like 10 people.
Yeah, it's definitely not like I cannot imagine watching this with like 10 people at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Yeah,
in a well-lit room. Like, and it's also like I mean, we all watched it together. We would make little jokes and such.
That was in the heat of the moment.
But I think to like fully like really get into it, it's definitely like you got to watch it solo or with like kind of a small group of people.
Because I do think it's good to watch with a small group because then you guys can confirm what happened or maybe we disagree. Like,
it's not a movie.
Obviously, like there's a lot of film grain in here, and you see like your brain, the human brain is made to pick out faces and shapes to try to stay alive, even though you're sitting at your fucking RGB keyboard where you're still doing that.
It's still happening. It happened to me. I was definitely like watching the movie like, is that a face?
Is that a tiger?
And it wasn't. Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Except what we got on screen.
Man, I mean, yeah, and like kind of how we said, or I mean, Ryan, you said this earlier. It's an unconventional movie, and I very much agree with that statement. And it is kind of like watching images, like actually watching images. That's one of the reasons why I feel like it's kind of hard to talk about in a sense.
If you've ever taken like a film class or something in college, and you've had to watch short films where they're like 45 minutes long. This is an hour and 40 minutes, so it's a little longer than what you'd normally get. But sometimes it'll just be half of the stuff is abstract, and you're supposed to... Like Wavelength is a movie that's like that, and it's very avant-garde, and a lot of people fucking hate it, and a lot of film people like it, and they're snooty about it. It's kind of like that. It's like a film student thing. It's they make you watch it, and it's like the litmus test. It tells you your baseline.
Right.
This sucks, this is stupid, it's lame, nothing happens.
I was prepared for anything going into this movie. Like, I heard it's just images. I heard it's, liminal space horror, which I'm a huge fan of liminal space horror. And yeah, so I was definitely interested in it and prepared for anything. Did anyone watch it again since seeing it with each other?
No.
I did not.
I enjoyed it.
No, I did not either. I tried to, but
I mean, I think it's not like, I don't know. It's not really a movie that like I feel like I could take notes on, because I feel like you kind of like once you see it, you get it, and it's definitely more like a feel movie, if that makes any sense. It's definitely not a movie that I feel like you could even be like, this is what this means. You know what I mean? Like it's more a movie that you get a different feeling from it based on whoever's watching it.
Yeah, you puzzle it together your own way.
The intent, I'd argue. I don't feel like it's
the intent.
Yeah, I don't think it's just broad strokes. Like I mean, like I think it is broad strokes. However, there's definitely like a thought behind everything.
Yeah,
maybe not everything, but most things of the movie. I think that like while you were supposed to vibe in this movie and really be kind of sucked into it and not know when it ends or anything like that, it could be cut down a little bit, I think.
I think that dilutes a little bit of the point.
Yeah.
I have two minds, because I think as a piece of art, like not looking at it from the cinema perspective, I think the timing was perfect. But looking at it from the cinema perspective, where it's like it needs to be a cohesive movie, I think it should have been cut down. So entertainment value wise, it should have been cut down, but I for what the director was trying to achieve, I think it's fine.
God, I just realized that like I feel like I've watched Skinamarink in modern art museums when they have those like projector setups.
I was thinking about stuff like that. I was like, I was watching and I mean, I just a spoiler here. I probably liked this movie the least out of all of us. I'll explain later. But there were parts of this movie where I was like, man, I feel like I'd like this more if I was like walking through an exhibit at a cool museum and it was like an immersive experience or something. I don't know. I couldn't quite vibe with it as much. And I mean, I think experimental films like this, I think, invite a lot more scrutiny because of that. And it's definitely not like I certainly won't fault the movie for doing what it did, because I think it set out to do well what it sought out to do. It just didn't vibe as much with me personally.
It didn't strike your fancy as much.
No,
it wasn't something you could get into, because like we all know, like, I don't know, like we can like bad movies, and like bad movies can be good, and good movies can be bad.
Bad movies, I love them. And like I love horror movies too, especially. But I think also just partly like I'm not like the biggest fan of analog horror. Like it's not my taste personally. So I think that also is just a personal opinion that kept me enjoying some of the aspects of it. But whatever. I think it did well what it was doing. But
the liminality of it overtakes the analog of it, because I agree with you. For me, like the analog horror is overdone and overplayed, and I'm tired of it. However, like there's not quite something like it, and its uniqueness definitely struck me. We'll get into it. Let's get into it. Yeah?
Why not get
into it? Let's freaking get into it. Like, because like I feel like we're not gonna we're not gonna spend a lot of time getting into it, because we might as well just get into it and like tell the audience what the deal is with this movie.
Christian, Tomekeeper, can you please do it? I don't. My brain's small.
I feel like the plot will maybe be 3 minutes long. I genuinely think. And I mean, I don't think we
need to go over the plot. I think it's just kind of beats, like moments.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, let's go through the timeline, right?
But I mean, yeah. So I mean, the movie starts off, and just for reference, if you've never seen like the trailer for this movie or know anything about it, there's actors in it, but like there's never like direct shots of them. It's always
never see an actor's face.
I think
you never see a lips move. You never see eyes. You never see mouths.
Fun fact: there actually is a shot in the movie where a character is facing the camera and you get a full body shot. It's shrouded in darkness intentionally, so you don't know what and where it is, and nobody's correctly found the frame yet.
Oh,
And notorious
really?
director Kevin Edward Ball.
Kyle.
I'm just joking. Kyle Edward Ball. He was like, nobody's really guessed where it is yet, and I'm not going to tell you guys where it is because I want it to be a mystery so you can discuss.
Interesting.
I almost don't believe it. That's like
yeah. It sounds like something to make up.
That's like Ed Boon saying there's still secrets in MK.
Yeah, there's still things in that MK arcade machine no one's found.
I don't believe it almost. But
I'd like to believe that though. That kind of stuff makes me go crazy.
Yeah, it is cool.
I really do go like rabbit hole on that stuff. I don't know. It strikes a really nice chord in my brain.
Yeah.
But yes, largely there's no like full body shots. There's no face shots. I think the most you can clearly see is waist down from parents.
I think
you see like the back of their heads.
You see crown molding,
bone.
I think I forget who said it, but someone said it best. It's not found footage, but it's almost like the camera is a literal fly on the wall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I said that. Yeah, you're a literal fly in the wall in this movie.
Yeah, like just watching like events unfold, but like
or a toy on the ground.
You more like listen to events unfold.
Yeah, you are kind of listening, and oh man, just to get into that because that was one of the reasons why I really liked it because like I was the kid who would wake up when I was young and listen to what my mom was saying on the phone, but not get out of bed.
I think that's the point.
And I would just. Right, that's what I'm saying. Is like I was that, and like Skinamarink was that again.
Was me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Level of horror, which is
I really do think. And sorry to bring it back. I really do think we should just like flush out the premise of this movie before we go too far because we can.
Okay.
We can
Let's
pick
do
out
the timeline,
moments,
and we can go from the timeline. All right. So first things first. The first thing that happens in the timeline. We all agree. Kevin wakes up from a nightmare or something in his house. Kevin is a little boy. We know he's a little boy, and he sleepwalks. He sleepwalks.
Yeah,
that's what the dad says.
That's what the dad says.
He's like maybe he was sleepwalking.
Well, no, he says that Kaylee said he was sleepwalking. His sister.
Snitch.
Sorry, don't need to. Don't mean to on you. Anyways, so Kevin falls down the stairs and hits his head, and the dad of the movie, we know, calls the mother and tells the mother that Kevin fell and hit his head. The mom is obviously asking if the boy needs stitches, and he says that he doesn't. That's like the first thing that happens in the movie, right? Am I crazy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And then you go from there, and Kevin's just kind of walking the house, and then he just like listening to things, turning on the TV, turning off the TV.
This is when it starts to get weird. It gets very weird very early in the movie. It's
talking to his brother, playing with toys. Yeah.
I think there's only 2 kids.
There's only 2 kids.
I'd have had this theory that there was
you did say that there was
and we're like, what?
There's 3 kids.
There's
only 2 kids.
There's only 2 kids.
Man.
Am I being gaslit?
No, you're not being gaslit. However, I will say
we are lying to you.
I do agree with you, Aref, that when I was originally watching, and that why I believed you that there was 3 kids was because I thought there was 2 kids that went down the stairs to watch cartoons before waking up Kaylee.
Because the cast is Kevin, Kaylee, father, mother.
What? Right. So there's not another kid watching cartoons?
Not another
no,
kid.
because I was tripping the entire movie. I'm like, I thought there was only 2 kids.
Where the fuck did I get the Troy kid from?
I thought there was a third kid too. I'm with you. When you told me that, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But then
this
I was like, wait,
like Mario 64. It's personalized.
It's personalized, and it goes through alternate dimensions when you hold down the A button.
This is like
because the dad had a big old cowboy hat in my one.
I want you to know when I read your intro, Christian, I almost fucking called your ass out. I mean, like, there's 3 kids.
That would have been cool.
That's so crazy, bro. I'm from an alternate universe. Fuck you guys.
It's like those fucking jokes where it's like, oh yeah, The Simpsons. Remember everyone's favorite character, Gwimbly or like Gumbly or whatever. Like,
Gumbo.
And they draw like a random character in. That's Aref right now with Troy. Anyway,
so I will say that, like, one of the things that the movie sets up, and one of the only obvious things of this movie, I would say, is that it wants you to obviously go from the idea that, like, this could all possibly be in Kevin's head because he hits his head and he's sleeping.
That's the most Pokemon theory I've ever heard.
Well, I mean, that's what people are saying in terms of just, he hits his head and explains what happens in the movie, because what happens isn't real. Of course it isn't real because it's a movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Did people forget that, like, my dad, like, wouldn't want to go see movies sometimes because he was like, oh, that looks too unrealistic.
Oh my god, suspension of realism.
Yeah. It's
suspension
like,
of reality.
No. But then he'll, like, go and watch Batman.
Yeah, because he can fuck up some bad guys.
Star Wars happened. It just happened a long, long time ago.
I guess Kevin wakes up at some point and goes downstairs and starts watching cartoons.
And then they quickly start to notice that, like, well, their dad is gone, and also that, like, things start disappearing, like windows
start disappearing. But it's like the frame is there, like the frame and the drapes are there, so they move it, but then there's no window.
Multiple things.
The door frame is there. Yeah, there's all this stuff that starts changing.
The toilets pops in and out of existence.
The toilet popping out of existence, actually, the more I thought about it, was kind of sad.
Can I explain it? Can I explain my theory here?
Oh, yeah.
I think we witnessed some sick fuck on his computer playing Sims, and he's just torturing his Sims, making the mom and dad Sims go to work like late at night or the gym or school.
And we don't see the main characters because we would see the big green diamond over their head.
See the big green diamond.
That's so.
Wait, what about when we see? Well, what about when Kaylee? It's not spoiler, but what happens about Kaylee when we see her face?
They have like a llama statue and they just modded it or something.
Oh, okay.
They have the llama cheat statue from the third game.
No.
But throughout, there's like some intimate scenes regarding the parents. Like you hear the garage, you hear the dad like turn on his car and drive away.
Yeah.
Get cigarettes.
Yeah. You also see the dad stand up from the bed.
There's a lot of creepy shots of like the back of people's heads.
Yeah, you see the mom stand up from the bed. It's just various stuff, and a lot of it is like non-linear. So with the dad calling the mom, you assume she's not there, but then you see her.
I was so confused about
that. I was like, then dad leaves. It's a lot of it is to really play on like the confusion of it, so you don't get a full idea of what's happening.
No, the whole thing is really like a dream, and that's how it's intended to be, a dream or nightmare of just like nothing is kind of connected, nothing really makes sense. You can extrapolate wherever you want, but it doesn't really, give you an answer either way. It's a wild movie. I don't know. It's just a crazy movie.
And then what prompts Kevin to go check the basement?
I think just the voice says something.
I think the voice tells
it says to
hold on.
Down.
Okay, yeah, let's go. Hold on. Let's timeline a little bit here. So he goes and watches cartoons. He wakes up his sister. His sister's awake. Him and the sister are just kind of, vibing and realize the dad and mom are gone. Then things start getting really creepy, and there's an entity that we know is in the house because toys start floating and all that stuff starts getting deleted throughout the house. And it definitely starts influencing Kaylee, I believe, first. It starts to make Kaylee do stuff
because she's older.
Upstairs. And she is older.
Go upstairs, and then she sees their dad in the bedroom. And then this was a pretty creepy scene where he's like, the voice is like, look under the bed, and then she does, and there's nothing there, and then all of a sudden,
holding my breath the whole time.
Well, and then he's like, look again, because she says oh, I don't see anything. I what are you talking about? And he's like, just look again, and then nothing's there.
And then she sees their mother, who they seem to imply died previously. I think was the implication.
I don't think so. I got the impression that they're divorced.
Or no, they definitely most likely are, because she's not supposed to be there.
Or maybe she works late though. That could be it too.
I don't know. Yeah. I got abuse vibes at the very beginning, so I thought it was mom was just out.
At the very least, you had an absentee mother in some sort of way. Whether it was her fault, whether it was divorce, whether it was death, whatever. It is perceived from the child that she is gone.
Yeah.
And then now she's here.
I totally forgot that in the beginning of the movie, the dad is like calls the mom and is like, "Hey, Kevin hit his head."
Yeah,
he bonked his head.
Forgot about that.
Well, but because like the little dialogue we get from that, what is very interesting is the stitches thing, because she's very much like, does he need stitches? And the dad is like, no, he doesn't. Like, you know, like, and then they kind of have like a little back and forth there too. So like definitely like disagreement is sowed in the movie that like they may not like each other. But that's about the time when Kaylee gets kind of taken. I mean, we're skipping over a lot of the movie because like a lot of the movie.
No, she doesn't get taken there. She doesn't get taken there. There's a jump scare because she goes down and then her brother tries to ask like, "Well, did you see mom? Like what'd you say?" And then she just replies like, "Oh, I don't want to talk about it. Like, I just don't want to talk about it at the moment."
There's some weird shit up there. I don't want to go.
And then it calls her to the basement.
And then that's when Kaylee's like gone. Like Kaylee goes missing at that point.
Isn't that kind of like, well, like he calls her to the basement, but like as far as we know, time has passed. Like a bunch of time has passed between that.
It's not explained, but it's just they keep going to sleep. They're like, we're going to sleep in the living room next to the TV, and then
we're gonna watch cartoons.
Yeah, and then it'll do panning shots, and then one of them will like seemingly wake up. It sounds like, and they walk around. And they come back and they're like, it's still dark out.
It's kind of like aimless, yeah.
And then they just go back to bed. It's a lot of that.
Yep.
And then eventually Kaylee disappears, as well as like, and then like toys and stuff get stuck on the walls more. And then that's when the voice starts to whisper to Kevin and is like, "Hey, come down to the basement. Like, hey, come down." And you're like, "Okay."
Well, Kevin's much more susceptible because he's younger.
Yeah, but then Kevin goes down to the basement, and then this was the first, like, I think, big jump scare of the movie, where he goes down and he sees Kaylee, and then she turns around and she has no eyes or mouth.
Oh! Yeah, it's like
the
really
only time
loud
you see a face
blue.
And there's no face.
Yeah, it was a pretty spooky part.
To be fair, it's not like she was injured. Like the monster took her eyes and mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the monster. It is very much implied that the monster took her eyes and mouth. I think, as far as I know, the monster kind of just screws with Kevin more throughout the movie.
It tries to like influence him to like leave, and he just stays there. And then that's when it starts to. It's almost like it's just producing Legos and Mega Blocks, like No Face in Spirited Away. I was just trying to get him to interact with it, and I think Kevin's just trying to sleep it off and ignore it.
Yeah,
just like doesn't want to play.
There's another jump scare with like a phone that was pretty crazy. Like,
yes, Kevin tries to call 911, and he connects to somebody, and it's standard 911 operator like procedure, and then it turns from a regular phone to like the classic toy phone with the face.
So the whole thing with the phone that's interesting is that, remember earlier in the movie, Kevin and Kaylee actually do check the phone, and they try to call. And it doesn't work.
Yeah.
After Kaylee gets taken by the monster, and there's a phone scene with Kevin, there's this weird thing about how the monster, the voice, wants Kevin to do stuff for him. And thinking about it, and I was like looking some stuff up because I did a little rabbit hole, deep dive on this movie, because I like to do that with movies I like this. It's heavily speculated that the phone and who he talked to was just the voice fucking with him.
Yeah, just mimicking an adult voice.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it was just fucking with him because the phone didn't work from the get-go, and it I can't remember exactly what the phone monster or what the monster says over the phone, but he asks a question or says something that the voice said earlier that Kevin kind of realizes, if I'm not mistaken.
See, I always had the impression that everything that's going on is just like the voice or
the guy at the computer,
the malevolent forces. Yeah, the guy at the computer. Is just fucking with them. Like he's just because he's just evil and hates these poor innocent children. But I didn't consider that the voice was just the mysterious force.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I'm taking this interpretation. I think you can interpret it several different ways, and I don't think any which one is more correct or incorrect, because I mean, the next part getting into it, right? Like the next thing on the timeline, I would say, is after the Kaylee thing, after the phone thing, is I think the jump in time when we see like literally the movie says 572 days.
Yeah,
it doesn't say later. It doesn't say ago. It just says 572 days.
Yeah,
I take that as him being in there, but I don't know. What do you guys?
Yeah, I took it as him getting sucked into the alternate dimension, the Skinamarink.
Whatever the Skinamarink is doing.
Yeah. Marinkatopia.
Marinkatopia layer.
And yeah, that he's just been there and in there for that long,
watching
like,
the same cartoons.
For him, it's like torture because he doesn't know how long it's been.
And he's in his house. He's in like his own home. Like he's got nowhere.
And we didn't really mention it before, but again, this kind of ties into what we were saying earlier about trigger warning about self-harm stuff. But the voice does tell him to like, hey, stick the knife in your eye.
It like opens a drawer really aggressively.
Yeah.
And then Kevin,
we just hear the screaming, I think. We don't see it.
My personal take on this is that the creature, the Skinamarink, can't really interact with like the living. He can only try to influence them and then interact with like inanimate objects, right? So he can try to lead Kevin to go through doors that'll go into Skinamarink dimension, or like fuck with the phone or whatnot.
Yeah.
But he never touches Kevin directly.
So do you think
he takes Kylie's eyes?
I'm going to cut in. At the beginning, there's just mega blocks being tossed. And like, I don't think it's supposed to be Kevin. Like now that Aref brought it up, it could be the Skin Team Inc. that's basically trying to like get Kevin to play. Because that's the whole thing is like, he might have been playing with whatever it was and he just doesn't know and fell down the stairs. If he can't be interacted, he probably just goofed and slipped on his socks on a carpet floor. And
so
fell down the stairs like a child.
That could be it. You're right. Like the Skinamarink like kind of provoked him to like made him sleepwalk from the beginning. Like kind of initiated that.
Can't really physically interact.
So and that coincides with the ending, especially because what the thing asks him at the end to do is go to sleep. Remember?
Yeah.
But one thing,
go to sleep.
Oh God, stall!
Oh no!
I was gonna. Don't do that.
I was gonna say something earlier. Oh shoot! I
don't like this movie. It did freak me out.
Something about stabbing the eye. Something about Kate. Oh, I'm getting vibes personally that Kaylee did not want to. How do I put this? Something tells me that Kaylee chose an easy way out somehow, and that the monster kind of wanted to really get to Kevin, that Kaylee gave up in a way, if that makes sense. I don't know. Like, I don't know whether or not the monster is playing with Kevin, or if Kevin had some sort of way he was resisting the monster due to like childlike innocence or something. But that's the reason why I think that like he got a little bit of a different treatment, was because
I think maybe he took too long.
After the dad and mom thing, he like was like, "You can just take me. I'm good."
Well, I think especially because like I think the biggest thing that I think we've kind of touched on is like a big thesis of the movie is young kids like that are pretty fearless because they're innocent. Like he this kid's stuck in a big house without
his own home, no less.
Yeah, and we were joking about it. We're like, if any of us, like, if this was about like grown people in a house, they'd be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it'd be real annoying.
But it's so calm because he's a kid and doesn't know anything. So like he
can't do anything about it. He's just accepting fate.
Scared. He's not really scared because he doesn't really get what's going on. And so I think that's kind of why it tries to influence him a lot more. Because,
and this is the reason why I think about the 572 days thing is that, and especially the go to sleep thing is that I think, and this is again another interpretation of mine, is with whatever is presented, is that I think that Kevin did resist somehow the monster for 572 days. It could have possibly been through like maybe in this dimension he doesn't sleep, and like maybe he just watched cartoons 24/7 for 572 days until he gave up.
Yeah.
Because you really have no concept of time itself at however old Kevin's supposed to be. I don't even think it's ever said. He's obviously young. He's probably 4 or 5.
4? No, because he says 4. I think the monster asks
Kevin
him
is 6 years old.
6.
Oh no. He is 4. Kaylee is 6.
Okay, he is 4. Okay, yeah. So, and that's a huge difference in definitely school. Like Kaylee has like classmates that she sees.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin does not.
Mm-hmm. He sees his parents and his sister, maybe cousins. I don't know. Obviously, there's no.
So the 572 days things happens, and then I guess the ending of the movie happens.
Yeah, which I think we kind of already touched on, but yeah, like all this time has happened. We start to see like imagery of like there's like a woman on a bed, and then she starts to like Back to the Future disappear. We see like photos of people that are like disappearing and stuff.
We see like this blood splatter like on the ceiling roof.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the house flips.
Yeah, the house flips upside down.
Yeah, it flips on Kevin.
And then we get kind of near at the very end of the movie, we get the kind of spooky imagery of a strange figure just barely visible. Like we can tell it's or something.
So kind of what we talked about earlier is like there's a huge film grain on this movie, and because you're staring at blank images of walls and ceilings and parts of houses, like, and because there's such an intense film grain, your brain kind of like can sometimes pick out faces. And like while we were watching, I definitely was like, I know there's not a face there, but like my brain can make a face there.
You know,
if
funny
it wanted
enough,
to.
It's called pareidolia.
Ball, Carl Edward Ball, he said that was not an intended effect of the film grain, but that is what he wanted to happen with the empty space.
Oh, interesting. So the film grain wasn't part of it, but the empty space was.
Yeah, but which
I get, because that's what I did when I was a kid. Like I looked at the empty spaces in my house and I like made
and
faces.
You filled it in,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot of imagination as a child.
But I do think the film grain helped. I think it was a bit too much a lot of the time, but it did help that effect.
Yeah.
Because a lot of this movie is to get you into that. Okay, we're not going to get too far into that. That'll be part of the discussion. But
yeah. Well, I mean, to sum up the movie, I mean, like, yeah, once like the whole thing is that you're seeing these faces, you know, where you may see faces throughout the entire movie, and then at the very, very end, you see. I mean, what I'm assuming is the monster, the entity, and it's like. Or at least produces this like faceless face, not like Kaylee's face, and it's like just in view enough to like be like, oh, is that a face or not?
But it looks like a mannequin head. It's like smooth. There's no defined features.
Yeah, and it tells Kevin to go to sleep.
And then he calls out for his mom.
It repeats a couple times. He calls out for his mom, and then
he's like, what's your name? He like asks it, what's its name, and it doesn't.
Oh, that's right.
And then the movie ends.
Skinamarink.
Yeah.
Please, Mr. Marink is my father. Call me Skinner.
There's a lot to still talk about. So just because we finished the plot does not mean.
We're gonna get into the philosophy of the movie.
Yeah, definitely. Which you know what? I think we should probably have another trigger warning actually for another topic.
Existentialism.
Oh, I was going to talk about child abuse, yeah.
Oh.
Because I feel like there's heavy themes of child abuse.
See, I didn't get that.
I called it out right away. Like, when he fell down the thing, his dad was too into it. I was like,
okay.
Homie did
Well, I won't be interacting with that conversation, so if you don't want to hear me say anything about child abuse, isolate my voice, and I will not talk about it. I'm kidding.
We won't talk about it, but I just, you know, I mean, just, here, we'll get past it right now, okay? So, the idea here is that Kevin and perhaps Kaylee, or you know, maybe come from a tumultuous family, and one or both of the people in the household that are supposed to be taking care of these kids have been abused, and we can even go as far as to say perhaps the abuse invites this monster, or it's a monster that forms from abuse, if you want to get literal with the monster, or the monster is an idea of abuse, and it's like, this twisted sort of version of it. But the movie's also playing on this, like, childhood, like, wonder fear. I don't know what to call it, but wonder fear of like, your imagination is kind of scaring you, but it's broad daylight and you're seeing faces. It's weird. That's just what I've seen around. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it. I think the movie is kind of a little more plain. I think you can say that there's possibly a child abuse angle, but it's not, it's not easy to say definitively one way or another.
I'm going to take a step back and focus on that childhood wonder aspect.
Yeah.
So this movie is definitely grasping with the horrors of what it is like to have like an unbridled imagination and not knowing how to cope with it. It's definitely done via empty space, via strange things happening, and showing through Kevin's and Kylie's inability to understand what's happening, right?
Right.
So this could be me. This could just be like a little OCD Aref thing. Before people in the comments, if we don't have comments, before people in the comments,
we don't read the comments.
Shut on me. I am diagnosed with OCD, and this is I'm not talking out of my ass. But like, maybe you guys experience this, like just coming to the realization of like the physical world around you as a kid is like kind of fucking freaky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like that self-awareness that people kind of meme about, but like then you kind of go like, oh wait, like I can die one day, and like I can, these things are made of atoms, and that wood is from a tree that died. That
I'm not the beginning. I'm not the end.
Yeah, I'm not the beginning. I'm just here. I'm
keep going.
Yeah.
So exactly. So at 5 years old, even I would stare and funny enough, and at like crown molding and doors and toilets.
Yeah. No, like I get you.
And just like think about its existence. It's like why is it there?
Yeah. Oh, totally.
I came up with this little theory when I was a kid, where I was like, what prevents the physical world from disappearing when it's out of sight from things that can perceive it?
Yeah. Like how do you know something's real if you're not looking at it?
Exactly.
A tree in the forest.
So using
like my outside my door, like all the set people for the movie get my house ready as I walk out the door, right?
Oh, Truman Show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it really struck a chord with me personally, because I was like, okay, this is something that is like kind of horrifying when you're a kid, and it's something you don't really think about as you become an adult when other things take up your mind, and you start just normalizing the physical world around you.
Just another notch for this movie for me is like, and it kind of ties into this childhood wonder thing that we've talked about and you brought up and extrapolated on, is I don't know if this necessarily means child abuse. Like, I don't think so, because like I've experienced this and I wouldn't say it's abuse, but some people could say it is in a way. I don't think it is necessarily. I think depending on the context and the situation, it could be. But like, I was left alone a lot as a kid. Like, I was just left in the house alone. Like, I would sometimes wake up, my mom would be gone, and like I wouldn't know where she is, because I was at an age where like I didn't, she didn't tell me. But like at the same time, she didn't. I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't know why. But like I would just wake up, my mom would be gone, and I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. Like cereal, breakfast, turn on the TV, start watching cartoons, and then just like chill out. I think one thing that this movie does, and especially talking about like the time and the length of like the scenes and things like that, making faces in the walls, seeing things, hearing things in other rooms. There's like always that fear of like, I could be left alone for 3 hours and I could be like, I wouldn't know because I'm a kid. I don't have a perception of time. And I'd be like, oh man, my mom's gone a little bit longer this time. It feels like, I wonder like if she's going to come back at all. Like, am I going to have to like be alone all night and all day? And like, is my mom going to ever come home, And then like, because like, and then like the next weekend, right? Like, or she comes home and everything's fine, eventually. And it's like, oh, sorry, I was at the store, or, oh, I had to run errands, and, it was easy, whatever. But like, then the next weekend she does the same thing, right? And it's like, she's gone for like 1 more hour, and it's just like that last, again, you're a kid, you don't know. So like because I feel like that this movie does a really good job of like nailing that specificity and kind of feeling. It's really, really good at that, in my opinion.
I think it's really funny that me and Trevor are kind of projecting our own childhoods onto this thing, onto this movie. Given the movie's kind of like a blank slate, encouraging the use of imagination to like see what scares you. Projecting our own childhood onto this movie is kind of meta, and then we're like, "Oh, I'm seeing it like this."
Yeah,
and that honestly is making me appreciate it as an art piece even more.
That's true. Yeah, it's interesting to think of it like that, in the sense of, I mean, like, that's what art is, really, at the end of the day. Just how you perceive it and how it affects you in different ways, and what someone gets out of something may not be what someone else gets out of it, and every interpretation is correct, which is what makes art so amazing and great. We love art. We love art. Yeah, no, it's really interesting hearing your guys' perspectives of like your own past experiences and how that affects the emotions that come about when you're watching it, for sure.
And your view on media.
Yeah, in general. Mm-hmm.
It's just also just so specific. Like I mean, and I want to get into why people wouldn't like this movie. I do really want to get into it, because I feel like that's a fair thing to do, and I do want to treat it as the movie it is as well. But to that point, I think if you can't, maybe, I'm not saying, that you have to experience that, or whatever, to enjoy this movie. That's definitely not the case. I think there's plenty of ways you could go about this movie. I mean, this movie has a monster, for Christ's sake, at the end of it.
A child dies at the end.
Right. There's still something that you can hang on to. But if you don't connect with this movie on some sort of level and appreciate at least one aspect of it, then you're gonna have a harder time definitely getting into it. And there's a lot to like, but there's also a lot to not like. I think
you're just gonna run into that with films like this that try to do non-conventional storytelling, and it's either gonna take time for people to kind of watch it now, not like it, and then watch it again.
Yeah.
And then I was a little too judgmental or something. We'll have to wait for that, and maybe people will turn. I liked it out the gate.
It's just it's so specific. It's just so there's not another movie like it, which
is good.
I don't know.
It's
good, but
unique.
It's unique. It's a unique.
Okay, yeah. So this is the part where I epically own this movie, and I epically take it down with my true real facts and cinemaphile opinion. No. If anything, this movie, and hearing you guys talk about it, has kind of opened me up in some ways to I mean, I always kind of appreciated this movie, even after
you came out of it not hating it. But you don't hate this movie.
No, I don't. I don't think I can say I fairly hate it, because it doesn't fail at what it's doing, or at what it tries to do. If that makes sense.
I get you. Yeah. Totally.
And there's obviously different degrees of that and perceptions of what a movie failing means, I guess. But
totally.
It's one of the it's sort of it's just one of those situations where I think it's just what it sets out to do, it does well, and I can appreciate what it does, but it didn't work for me as much.
Yeah. I think it's
a variety of things.
I mean, not all of us grew up like a multimillionaire in upstate New York. So
don't make this narrative that I am.
No. I think that, to be completely honest with you, Christian, after all the praise I give this movie, it's also to say it's a movie is almost, I don't know. It's not. It's more of an art piece.
It's a visual experience.
It's more of a visual experience, and it should maybe have been played that way.
Yeah.
And the way it is marketed as a movie makes it a movie, which I appreciate. However, if I actually went to go see this and my theater was filled with people, I don't know if people would like it, or and they might be saying shit and being weird. Yeah. So I don't know.
I'm low-key so glad I did not see this in a theater.
Oh yeah, I would be so. This
I think everybody would be like looking around.
This would be like watching 2001 without knowing that the moon thing was in the beginning.
I watched 2001 in senior class of mine with a teacher, but the teacher like prepped us and was like, "Hey, just so you know, like it's gonna be long scenes where it's just music, like just be cool with it, just sit with it for a bit," and like that gave me enough context to be like, "Oh, okay, cool. Like I gotta just be cool with it," and it was, and I was cool with it.
Christian, I want you to continue with your criticism before we jump back in.
It doesn't mean it's bad, but
no.
It's like we're all kind of like dancing around it.
It's no.
It's absolutely a movie that rewards patience and kind of just going along for the ride. And I wouldn't say I'm an impatient person like watching a movie, but I think eventually I think I'm just so I like the things I look for in a movie. I like the structure. I like the plots. I like all that kind of stuff. So I think a part of my brain is almost like, okay, like we gotta keep it moving. We gotta keep it going here. And when it doesn't really get to that point, kind of like what we touched on earlier, like I think the movie would benefit from being maybe a bit shorter. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Just to kind of keep the energy going, because there were like the set. No, what I would say, quote unquote, Kaylee in the room with the looking under the bed, or the basement part, or the knife and the telephone, or whatever. I do like those parts, but if we got to some of those parts quicker, and it wasn't
the pacing on them is a little wonky.
I think it kind of keeps me going. Like, okay, all right, and now I'm
because we would have literal not hour, but like maybe 25-minute long like breaks in between a big set piece, rather than kind of keeping the momentum going. And perhaps if it was cut that way, it would have kind of like made the heart rate go faster. I would say that it probably wasn't designed that way on purpose. However, like I wonder if I would like that cut better, or like if if it would, make it a little better and palatable, a little more easy to recommend. And
this is also not to say that the movie needs to be like a Conjuring level, like a haunted house and things are flying around everywhere as we reach. It doesn't have to be that at all. But that's just what I took from it.
No, I think there is a little bit of a pacing issue, especially towards the back half of the movie. I think there is a little bit, if we're talking about it being in a movie. If you contextualize it as being like this art, whatever, then like you give it no rules, right? And it doesn't have to play by any standards, then it gets to do whatever it wants. But like if we're talking movie, which it is, then like I will say that like I think it is like not conventional in its pacing, and it is a little bit of a more kind of like I could have been a little bit more on the edge of my seat, a little bit more kind of intrigued and stuff.
Yeah, when you analyze it in the cinema sense, right? Like the plot it's very simple. Super. It's overextended, right? To not grab so it kind of loses your attention. Trevor mentioned the 25-minute segments between set pieces, and that's true. But going to what the set pieces actually are, we're talking like it just shows like a face. Or it shows someone standing up, or like
the phone distorting or whatever,
or the phone distorting. Like these are the moments, right?
Yeah,
stuff that would be, if anything, just something to escalate tension in a traditional horror movie.
Like the TV repeating.
It wouldn't be the crux. And I mean, like if you go all the way, you extend it all the way to the extreme, right? The climax of this movie is a blurred white dot telling someone to sleep.
Yeah, so, literally. Yeah, no, you're literally correct. That is the literal sense of it.
But also, it is kind of spooky. It is spooky.
It's spooky. But you can't just like. It's not just a movie you can just turn on, and I do feel like that's a little bit of a knock. You can't like. I don't know. I think one thing for a lot of movies is that at least it's like a movie you can turn on and just like sit down and watch. Like you got to really kind of watch this movie to know what's going on.
My fiance put it actually really well. My fiance Brianna, she said, if it requires so much of you to enjoy it, is it really a movie?
Yeah.
And I think that's a good point. It's like it's not just like it's not something that's just like visual storytelling, which is what the epitome of movie is. It's like it's just kind of a collection of images, you know?
Yeah, and audio and
Yeah.
you know, and it tells a quote unquote story, but like it was made to be extrapolated. Like it's not it wasn't made with like a clear thing in mind. Like we know that for a fact. Like he said in interviews that like he made it ambiguous on purpose to make anyone figure out whatever about it, and like I feel like that's only actually true with some movies, because I feel like some people do say like, oh, it's it's ambiguous, you're not supposed to get it, and it's like, well, no, that's just actually bad writing.
Yeah, like that's not good.
Right. Yeah, this movie rides that line for me very well, on the side of favorable to me. But no, I agree. I mean, overall, it's kind of hard to say it's a movie.
Now this is the part of the podcast we go to Trevor's Reddit corner. Now, what is this? What is this Reddification?
Okay. So because I'm a sucker for whenever things have big freaking unambiguous endings or whatever, I love to go and see opinions and learn theories, and because I'm just a whore for that. I'm a whore for knowledge, and
you like to keep your ear to the ground.
It's true. So, as I was looking through what people were saying about Skinamarink and stuff like that, I came across a Reddit comment about somebody's thing of the movie. I'm not going to go into what this person's whole thing of the movie was. They just have a little bit of a little piece, kind of, I guess not trivia, but a little bit of kind of knowledge that they shared online that I think does kind of add a little bit to the movie, and I want to see what you guys think about it. So shout out to LinkDog93 on the r/movies thing.
Thanks, LinkDog.
Friend of the show, LinkDog.
Yeah, and there's another person who commented about another cartoon that because I want to talk to you about this. So something that happens in the movie in Skinamarink is that throughout the movie you are watching the TV play cartoons, and it's Kevin and Kaylee watching cartoons, and these are old 20s, 1930s cartoons that are on VHS. LinkDog talked about two of three of them, the little tidbits about these cartoons, because LinkDog says, I think the cartoons tell the story best. I'm only really familiar with two of the cartoons. First, we see Cobweb Hotel, a cartoon short from the 1930s about a spider that runs a hotel, where he traps his guests in his web. The next cartoon, I don't know, but it depicts a duck, I believe running from a dog through a series of never-ending doors. The last cartoon is Presto Changeo, a Looney Tunes short from 1930s where Bugs Bunny uses magic to play tricks, including making himself disappear on two dogs who wander inside a spooky house. They go on to say, funny enough, Bugs makes the doors disappear and later appear where they weren't before in his cartoon. That being said, with that little, tidbit of information, Cobweb Hotel is this cartoon from the 1930s about a spider who runs a hotel, trapping guests in a web. There's another cartoon about a dog running through a series of never-ending doors, which is pretty self-explanatory. The last cartoon is Presto Changeo, where the bunny plays magic and makes things disappear. All of those things happen in the house, which I feel like
it kind of happens in reverse order.
Right. Well, there's another cartoon that you guys might not be familiar with that another commenter puts in here that I do feel like is really important. So there's one more cartoon that I'm remembering. I forgot about the dog running through the doors one, but now that I'm saying it, I do remember that one too. But there's another kind of important cartoon. Check this out. RPH writes, one of the cartoons is also the Dreamland one, also from the 1930s. It's about a little boy and little girl who live with a single mother, not shown. It's Christmas and they're very poor. They eat supper, bread, and soup, but when they ask for more, the mother breaks into tears. The part of the cartoon the movie shows is when they fall asleep and go into Dreamland. The kids literally say, I see you in Dreamland, somewhere in Dreamland tonight. Dreams will come true for me and you. Once there, the kids are dressed in beautiful clothes and have all the toys, food, and candy they want. So I definitely think that these were chosen intentionally. I don't think it was just a, run of the bag, oh, can you find 1930s things? I'm not saying, again, that, like, that explains the movie or anything like that. I don't think that, you know, it gives any specific thing meaning. I mean, I don't know. I think, if anything, it just kind of shows you what's happening, but I don't think it tells you anything. Like, you're not, you know, it doesn't tell you, like, oh, the Skinamarink learned from the cartoons, or, oh, the Skinamarink, you know, is doing things.
Oh, no, I'm talking about, like, thematic elements from the cartoons.
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean, sure, totally.
I don't know if it kind of explains stuff. It could. I don't know. It also could just be thematically similar public domain cartoons they were able to use. I don't know, but
I think thematically similar public domain cartoons is probably the right thing. The budget of this movie is only $15,000, crowdfunded.
Did a good job with what he had.
But it is cool that they show, because like they do show the cartoons occasionally, and obviously, you know, sometimes you're kind of watching them or paying attention or whatever. But I couldn't even really catch what was going on, or I didn't know that. So it is interesting. It is a cool little detail to know that, though. It is cool.
I think the only one they focus on is Presto Change-O.
Right?
Because that mimics the end when
Bugs Bunny disappears a bunch, and then all of a sudden the plant disappears. But other things were disappearing in the house before.
But it also shows repetition.
Right, but I mean, this VHS, like, we know from Kevin and Kaylee that, like, this is a VHS that's just been in their house. They've been watching it probably since they've been even littler. You know what I mean? Like, this has been something that they've watched for years, probably. It's just a VHS that, you know, is laying around.
The parents bought.
Did the house learn? And then we go back to, is child abuse manifesting, you know, ideas and things like that. I don't know. There's a lot. And none of it's definitive.
There is a lot, right? So this movie is definitely intentionally vague. But God, the cartoon commentary is actually super important because it's making me realize a lot more stuff about the movie that I think I might have missed. So I mean, obviously, regardless of what's happening between the parents, right? Whether the mom's dead, whether there's abuse, whatever, there is some turmoil. There is some, like, that is a fact.
Right. Like,
there's stress.
Vibes
there's
are
stress
bad in the house.
Vibes are bad in the house. And even Kylie leaving and watching cartoons and stuff like that is definitely emblematic of dissociation, right? So we're trying to avoid the problem. We're trying to leave it. We're trying to watch cartoons, play, whatnot, try to escape the reality via what's in front of us, and using that analogy of dreamland to escape what, you know, the lack of food for them. It could be emblematic of the kids trying to escape an uncertain or problematic home life. Which again I think is left intentionally vague, so you can kind of project whatever problems you might have onto it.
It's also like, no one should have to look up what these obscure 1930s cartoons are to appreciate, you know, the themes of the movie. Not that, like, I feel like it's obvious enough, you know, certain things that you can take something away, but, like, you know, no one should have to know the plots of 1930s cartoons to, like, be like, oh yeah,
no,
I got it now.
I have to, but it's fun.
It's a good little detail, and I do think it's intentional.
Listen here, Kyle Edward.
I don't think you're dumb.
I know you're listening. Okay?
Kyle
Edward Ball, I know you're fucking listening. You call this shit a movie? We're going to fucking criticize it like it's a movie. Anyway.
Coming after you 4 years after it came out.
We're going to cut into your fucking bottom line.
Yeah, we're going to make your wallet hurt.
What a crazy movie, though. I mean, just in general. It is kind of just wild that it's made and it's real and it exists.
No, it's super wild, and I feel like such a fucking shit ass pompous asshole, but a lot of the enjoyment of this movie is in the discussion and the analysis of it.
It's obviously what he wanted.
Yeah.
So you got what you want.
I'm gonna cleanse my soul and apologize to my high school teachers, my high school English teachers, and say, okay, you're right. A lot of the enjoyment's in the analysis. So obviously I am of the fact that, like, they're dissociating, right? And they continue going down this dream path. Do you guys think that the monster could possibly be like the child's like future self?
Explain.
Keep going.
I take it back. You guys want to go into reviews?
What?
No. Expand.
It's not formulated. I wanted to hear you guys' opinion.
Okay.
It was just.
I mean, it's kind of an interesting idea. Like he just went so crazy that he's
No, I kind of saw it as like someone who's self-sabotaging his future. So like he's dissociating and he's being maybe it's even like an internal voice type thing that's like telling him to do things that are harmful, both literally in this fact that he stabbed himself or figuratively, and the idea is like, hey, continue down these paths, continue dissociating, continue
almost as if like the entity is kind of him in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
From within Kevin.
And the entity is like removing his ability to interact with the outside world for the most part, right? By removing his literal physical items. Whether it be the toilet or whatever, it's like taking his power away. It's maybe future self is wrong, but maybe it's like an internal voice. Maybe it's like a depression.
Well, people do say a really common thing of this movie is he's in a coma from when he got hit on the head, and the internal voice is him telling him to go to sleep to stop living. That's a little thing too.
I think that's a good theory, but I think it's a little too literal.
It feels too Pokemon for me. And Adventure Time.
That feels too Pokemon. Anytime I feel
it's like anything Reddit. It's like SpongeBob. It's boy bonked his head and he loved cooking and now he's Sponge. Like that's not interesting.
When you got him the fucking space shuttle to go to space.
I mean, ultimately, from the literal imagery of this, right? Like you're supposed to project your own fears onto the blank space of each scene, right? I think that carries over to the entire movie where it's supposed to project your childhood, maybe mishaps or whatnot onto your interpretation of the movie, or what you would see as childhood mishaps, so you can pull fear and anxiety from your own past and put it into this piece of art. And I think that's kind of the point. So I think going down the whole coma path is a little too literal.
Right. I think I agree with that.
Yeah, and I think that's why the fears that are shown are always things that are taken away, right? It's never something is given. It's always like, this thing is missing eyes, or look into this empty space, or
it could only take.
Yeah, or go into this void, or actually even going into the whole time thing, right? He was stuck in time for 527 whatever days. The anxiety comes from the fact that you don't know what happens in that time, right? You're projecting your interpretation of what happened in time onto this scenario. You just know time passed. It's a blank slate. The idea is it's blank. I really don't think there's any literal interpretation of it besides the fact that it's supposed to be somewhat hollow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At least that's my take.
It's a canvas.
No. I mean, I think that's valid.
I think we talked this film to death, so let's go on to the review.
I spoke to everyone about how I could relate to this movie, definitely, and have a connection to it on a more innocent level. I think I came out okay, and I'm not trying to, paint my parents as villains or anything like that. I was just a latchkey kid, and honestly, if anything, it showed how, big of a boy I was, and I could, watch over the house because I was playing Super Smash Bros. Melee and not really worrying about anything. But I love that this movie does a lot of like really cool stuff. It takes big swings. It really, targets a specific kind of fear and just like goes crazy with it. And it sets out what it tries to do, as we talked about during this episode. So I was a big fan. There's nothing else quite like it. I give it a big recommend, 2 thumbs up, and I honestly am going to give it a 9. I will say that, like, I think there is a little bit of knock towards its pacing, and as we said, like, perhaps the scares could be ramped up a little bit more in terms of, just their timing. And do we call it a movie? I think it's fine to call it a movie. My definition of movie is crazy loose to me. So there's no issues with me for calling it a movie. If I did see in a theater, I would hope that I could really vibe and get into it. But I will say it would have to depend on the crowd. So with all that being said, I'm going to hand that over to my good friend, Ryan.
I love a movie that can tell a story unconventionally, like whether it's how the information is given so that once you're watching it again a second time, it changes your view. That's really interesting and it makes better second watches. But this is like the way that it's shot, I enjoy. Most people are going to, like, they're just going to hate it. Like, they're going to be staring at crowning and molding and doors. But, like, they're not going to like that. And what I kind of like about this movie is that the child actors aren't annoying. I think they did like ADR because it sounds like it's on, like, the audio is really good. So you can tell that it's not like recording in the room. And they're not annoying.
No,
you kind of feel sympathetic.
It's voice acted. It's voice acted.
So
it's voice acted by the children, but it's not like they're not talking in the scenes.
Yeah. It's like ADR'd in or whatever. And it makes it more sympathetic because most of the time when children are in situations like this and they're fucking annoying, you're kind of like rooting for them. You're like, dude, this kid's hella annoying. If I had to give it a score, I'd give it a 7.8. Let's switch it up.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That's crazy. For 7.8.
I'm going to behind the back, off the elbow, pass it to Aref.
So just jumping into it. So this discussion of the movie kind of really solidified my opinion of it. Maybe it enhanced it a bit. I really, really, really enjoyed it. I think it's very successful what it's trying to achieve. At least my interpretation of what it's trying to achieve. And I think it's worth a viewing. I couldn't recommend it more, but like I said, you have to work to enjoy this movie loosely called movie. You have to really work to enjoy this movie. You have to open your mind. You have to try to get in the mind space. You have to set your surroundings to allow for it. Unless you're really good at suspension of disbelief and really good at empathizing with characters, it's kind of a difficult task. But once you do that and you're able to find your like your mind and like the headspace of these children, you're in for a good, not I wouldn't say good time. You're in for an interesting time. And this movie really makes you feel pretty fucking terrible for its runtime, which feels very long. Terrible in the sense it's like it's just anxiety provoking and eerie and you just don't understand what's happening, much like a child would. But it's in terms of like a movie viewing experience, I wouldn't really, I mean, I have a stricter definition of movie. I wouldn't really call this like a movie. There's not really a good structured story. You have to work really hard to enjoy it. You can't really just like sit down and view it. A lot of the enjoyment is in the analysis, and not even analysis of like the plot points of what it's trying to say, more just like analysis of the intentions of the director. So in terms of a movie, I give it like a 6. But in terms of like an art piece, I give it a 10. So I'll stick with a 7.5. I'll stick with a 7.5. Christian, you want to take it away?
So for me, I think I don't know. It's kind of tough for me because I think I agree. We agree with everyone's points here. But I think for me, I think I just took something different from it, or I guess lack thereof. I guess is maybe a better way to put it. But I really do have to commend the movie for what it sets out to do. I think it does that quite well. I don't think it fails in that regard at all. I think there's some genuinely kind of unnerving imagery, which I mean freaks me out, and it does that job well. But that's for the few times that it happens. And so I think I'm just going to kind of go in the middle, honestly, on this one. I think I'm going to give it a 5. And that's only because I think it's a movie that I can appreciate and I respect that it exists. But it didn't do as much for me as I was hoping it would have. and it's definitely not a movie I don't imagine I would ever like watch again. But it's not to say anything, necessarily about its quality or what other people take from it, but that's just me.
The opinions of this podcast do not reflect on Christian.
The opinions of Christian do not reflect this podcast.
I'm not what I said.
Wait, they do! This is probably the most divisive we've ever been on a movie, actually. I think this is the most kind of crazy. Yeah, I don't think we gave something such different scores. I think we've always had like a 1 or 2 point, kind of
true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
it's just it all comes down to like how privileged your childhood was, right? Christian grew up in a $1 billion mansion,
a bat cave.
I grew up in the Papa John's Pizza Mansion. In the
with Bo.
Yeah, with
Bo. Christian's mom was Cleopatra.
It's it's true. It's true.
She was like born close to the iPhone or something.
It was around there, yeah. It was somewhere.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to another episode of today's review of Assorted Cinema, otherwise known as the TRACcast. We want to thank you for listening, and just, please give us a like, a comment, if there's comments, email, follow us, subscribe to us, whatever it is. I do want to share that there are talks about doing a sequel episode, because surprisingly enough, there's a lot of sequels to movies that we... have reviewed so far. That
there's Angels and Demons.
Angels and Demons. There's Man of Earth 2, apparently.
Smile 2 is coming out.
Smile 2 is coming out, which is getting good reviews.
The Creepening, Creep 3, or Creep Squared, as they say on the forums.
2, Creep 3.
The Creepinator.
The Creepening.
And just,
there's going to be new Coherence, too.
Oh, yeah. And we're just like on it, because literally on the 28th, yesterday as of recording, Skinamarink director Cal Edward Ball teams with A24 for next horror movie.
Oh,
right! Yes, yeah, that's right. He does. He's gonna do another horror movie. I hope. I'm in the Skinamarink camp, so I hope it's same vibes. We'll see.
Which to the viewers out there, look up the Variety article and just look at the fucking picture of Kyle Edward Ball.
Oh my god!
You'll learn why. You'll learn exactly who the person is.
Yeah, you can learn who the fuck this person is
that made this movie.
I've never seen him until now. Oh my word!
I bought cigarettes from this guy.
What a nice young man.
So this just kind of goes in trend with the influence of this podcast on the media industry. We're always pushing for good movies and art to be continued.
Well,
my fiance's laughing at me.
Tune in next time for when we watch Paint Dry and review that.
That'd be kind of cool.
Or is it gonna be more of like a matte or an eggshell?
Well, it's going to be an eggshell matte.
Eggshell's the sequel. We can't watch that one yet.
You can tell that I have no idea what paint is.